this to our children, so they'll know prosperity depends on the seeds that you sow. The life is just a cycle of give and take. Teach them so they won't make mistakes that we make.
We live in a society where black people are most often portrayed through negative stereotypes and are represented as victims of a system which does not recognise their rights. Their presence and contribution to the development of British history goes largely unacknowledged, to the detriment of British society. It is necessary, therefore, to put the record straight, to help us all recognise and truly accept the multicultural history and composition of our society, and to enable future generations to feel proud of their heritage. Through our interviews, we are able to present a more realistic picture of the black community, one which is made up of a variety of experiences, backgrounds, of hopes and aspirations, and which represents a rich and diverse cultural heritage. In so doing, we hope to capture a piece of history that could very soon be lost. As well as its historical value, this documentation can help young people to explore their own identity, to help them learn from the experiences of their elders. The clips that I have chosen represent a mere sample of the wealth of information that we have collected. This archive includes a bank of stories, characters, ideas, and some very positive role models. The themes I have chosen today include first impressions, identity, role models, and future aspirations.
My first impressions, I would say, was quite a thrilling experience. After I got to Victoria Station and realised here I was in London, that great city that I had read so much about.
I'd always seen and read of and heard of England being the mother country, the streets, if you like, are paved with gold and everything is rosy, etc.
Well, I was disappointed when I came off the boat of Liverpool, and what I expect to see the streets paved like the New Jerusalem, and I was disappointed.
Well, I hear that it wasn't so good. That's why I didn't want us to come. But let that last. I come and see for myself. Yeah? It isn't much good, but I'm living. Yeah?
Well, I remember finally getting into Southampton, and the first sight of the houses, I said to the people who had come to meet me, I can see why there are so much work here. Because you have so many factories.
On the train to Birmingham, I was going to Bromsgrove. I saw the smoky cottages, and I was wondering if there were factories.
When I was coming, I see the heap of house with these chimneys, smoke coming down to them and all things. I said, there's plenty of factory here, so I would get plenty work. Well, come and see for myself, it's different.
The day when I arrived, my mother was working at Kenrick's, and somebody told me how to get there. So I came out, this was in West Bromwich, so I came on to the high street, and for a moment I was looking in the window at the mannequins, and then suddenly I look around, and when I saw all these white people, it's like the world suddenly just break loose, you know, because I've never seen such large concentration of white people all at once.
I was under the impression that being cold was just chilly, what we would call chilly in the West Indies, you know, when it gets a bit cool around December or so. I never fully understood what it was like to be truly cold until I first experienced my winter.
The snow and the fog, I didn't know what it was like. I read it in the book, but I didn't know what it was like. And I said, well, since she's there, I'll come and stay with you, you know. And I come, but I did like it first, but just a homesick took me for a period of time, you know. I want to go home because I always love my sunshine, my fresh fruits and so on and on, you know. And when the snow comes, and I was very, very sick about it, you know, I never like it. But
And I remember when I got back to my room, my landlady came and knocked at the door and said to me, "Frank, come, have a look and see the snow for yourself." And to my surprise, when I looked out on the back garden, it was just like it was covered with a beautiful white carpet.
Children, so they'll know prosperity depends on the seeds that you sow.
There's one area I have no doubts about, and that is I'm black through and through.
I still owe myself as a Jamaican, even though I had the English passport. So I'm betwixt and between. You get what I mean? Yeah. I don't give up my nationality.
I would say I've been here for so long, I've more or less got used to the British way of life, and I feel just as much a Britisher as anyone else, really.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
How long have you been here?
35 years. Well, I feel more that I'm an international person, because I think the struggle for living is happening right across the board, or right across the globe. So in that sense, it's not blackness. I see black people oppressing black people. I see Asian people oppressing Asian people. I see white people oppressing white people. So therefore, I share that international oppression right across the board.
I can't lose sight of the fact that I was born in Jamaica, and my cultural roots, so to speak, are very clearly established there. These are things I value and will obviously want to pick up again at some point in time. I have a sneaking suspicion, though, that if I were to go back, pack up everything now and go back to the West Indies, you know, and try to establish myself there would be this urge, just longing to get back to Britain. You just can't be sure about that.
We've lost so much already, but we've much more to gain.
Coming from Trinidad myself, to go to a grammar school was something good. And to win a college exhibition from that early age, in fact, you see somebody in your age group, the person played with you on the paper. Shirley Cooper topped the college exhibition at Shirley Cooper, age 10, the daughter of Mr. Harold Cooper and Mrs. Thelma Cooper, headmaster of that child already have that sense that they are socially mobile in that society. And all the other kids, it is on display on the papers, and all the other kids have something to look up to.
I have to say that as a boy coming up in the West Indies, all the doctors I could see around me were black doctors. All the politicians I saw were black politicians. All the successful people I saw were black people. So I'm under no illusion whatsoever about the black people's capabilities. So when I first came to this country and the absence of role models everywhere were trying to give me a different view, and the material I was consuming within school and so forth orientating me in a particular direction, I wasn't taken in. I already knew that I was capable and able and would make it. So it's that kind of determination, that sort of knowledge, which helped me. Of course, they came at me thick and thin, the barriers and so forth, but they were simply another hurdle to jump, and I jumped them. Now, the problem for many of our young blacks who are born in this country, they don't have that sort of background knowledge of themselves. Yes, the evidence they see are black people sweeping the street, hospital ward maids and so forth, and there's very few role models to aspire to.
We have an oral tradition, a Nancy story, for the songs, the moonlight games that we play. They need to know these things in order to know where they are coming from. Africa, via the Caribbean, England, then it's a continuity that they must have.
No way we can lose, and together we will find the answer.
When I first came to this country, I'd never dreamed that one day there would be a black head teacher anywhere in this country. Yes. When I became the first black head teacher for secondary school in this country 10 years ago, I wondered whether I was ever going to be the only one. Yes. Today, I am the president of the Black Head Teachers and Deputy Head Teachers National Association, which is numbering nearly 150. Yes, right across the range. So I'm beginning to see change.
It's grim, unless we have serious alternatives.
Such as?
Unless we have serious alternatives. Well, we have a few blacks who have achieved, but at the same time, with so many children being expelled from school, so many children are turning to violence, and many of them are ended up in the mental hospital. It's grim. And if the young are failing in a race, the race don't have any hope.
My various publications and my platform utterances and the kind of work which I'm doing in schools such as this and elsewhere, I have got to confess that the drive behind all that is not solely unselfish. I've got at the back of my mind my own children, and I'd like to feel that they could come up in through an educational system and a society generally, not having to put up with some of the difficulties which I personally experience. And therefore any sort of contribution which I can make to whichever field, my expertise lie in the field of education, to minimize the kind of difficulties for them, then I want to make that.
The last son is 24 January. We send him to school, he go to Polytechnic, and he pass out everything. He's waiting on job there now, but he don't get a job yet. So I mean, I don't know. We try our best. We done our work.
Well, what I say,
We done our work.
the future for the new generation now is bleak. You get me? It's very, very bleak according to what's going on. Redundancy every day. They send out write letters for jobs and they can't get any. You get what I mean? So I think the future for them, whether white, colored, Indian, don't care what you are, the future looks bleak to me.
It really gives me a great deal of joy when I watch television sometimes or go to a church to worship anywhere and see both white and black can worship together, praise God together, and it is a good sign that things are changing.
I jolly well want to go on into carry on in the future now with enjoying the happiness that there is in life, because they say the best things in life are free. I understand that. But you see, what I'm seeing, that people will buy you cheaply, so you won't have anything to exchange, and so you can be always literally what they call sucking salt through a wooden spoon, and I'm not for that, because the money that is in the soil, which is gold and diamond, is not as valuable as me.
I am Ranjit Sondhi, chair of the Birmingham Black Oral History Project. I came from India to study and live in Britain in 1966. Even at the start, I did not feel I was coming to a strange land. Britain, after all, had always been the mother country to which all our fortunes in the colonies had been tied. During the last 2 decades, I have seen much of life in this country and have worked in many different settings and on many different issues. It has not always been easy, but in my case, I had much support, not least from the many different ethnic communities that have made their homes here. Others have not been so lucky and have had to struggle to survive with any sense of dignity and pride. It is their struggle and their lives that are so vital to record for posterity. I, for my part, welcome the opportunity to contribute to this knowledge, the experiences, and the ideas that have accumulated over the years to the Birmingham Black Oral History Project, of which I am proud to be part. Together with others, we have been recording the recollections of the older members of minority communities that have related to their life experiences both here and abroad. For me, this opportunity to recall my own experiences has given me time to reflect upon my own life in a very personal way. Others have had a more important contribution to make. We owe it to our children to teach them about our history through these recollections and the lessons that we have learned. We owe it to ourselves to encourage a view of this country of which we are now a part. I strongly support the work of the Birmingham Black Oral History Project and ask other members of all communities to do the same, because I believe that the knowledge of black oral history is central to the creation and sustenance of a truly multicultural society.
Message to our children, so they'll know prosperity depends on the seeds that you sow. That life is just a cycle of give and take. Teach them so they won't make mistakes that we make. Take some time to care. The way things are, there'll be no more left to share. Take a look inside ourselves and search into our minds. There's no